Roman is now on the hunt for Jey Uso, so we'll check out what's new there. We'll also check out what was just confirmed for Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. Let's start things off with WWE's unquestionable #1 storyline at the current moment, and that's everything related with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Of course, coming off the closing moments of Royal Rumble, the most anticipated WWE moment of the week was the follow-up to the Bloodline story. There was just so many things that needed to be checked on, including where's Jey, what's Sami's next move, and how does Roman Reigns feel about everything going on. And well, the February 3rd edition of SmackDown gave us all the answers to those burning questions. It all starts off with the Bloodline getting out of their truck. Kayla Braxton tried to ask Roman Reigns some questions regarding the status of Jey Uso, but Roman keeps walking by. Paul Heyman eventually tells Kayla Braxton that the Bloodline cannot confirm nor deny Jey Uso's Bloodline status at the moment. That brings us to a series of backstage segments between Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa. Roman starts interrogating Jimmy and Solo about Jey's whereabouts almost immediately. Jimmy says that he doesn't know where Jey is and hasn't talked to him at all. Roman goes off about how disrespectful Jey has been, about not only walking out, but also not communicating with his family. Roman points out that they haven't heard from him all week, and how the Usos have a title defense next week. Roman says that they don't walk out on their obligations. Roman asks Jimmy again if he's talked to his brother, basically with a certain tone in his voice that implies the idea that he thinks Jimmy is hiding something involving talking with Jey over the last week. Jimmy sits up and tells him once again that he hasn't heard from him. Jimmy says Jey will be at the title defense. He just needs his usual time to chill out. Roman still isn't convinced and then turns to ask Solo if he talked to Jey. But before Solo could answer, Jimmy speaks up again and says that Jey isn't talking to anybody. Roman only continues to get more angry and frustrated as the segment goes on. So he sarcastically says that they're not going to find Jey Uso on the couch, so he orders them to go out and look for him. Jimmy and Solo come back later on, but no luck contacting Jey Uso at all. So they report everything back to Roman Reigns. Roman reflects on how well the Bloodline was up until this point, how everything was running smoothly with no hiccups. Roman says that he has a lot on his plate right now in his current position. He says he feels like he's being pulled in two different directions. Roman then apologizes to Jimmy and Solo for how he spoke to them earlier in the night. He had Paul Heyman set up some catering to be delivered to the Bloodline's bus, so Roman wanted Jimmy and Solo to go over there and enjoy the food on him as an apology. So it all goes back to what Roman was saying just a few weeks ago, that at his current position and at this level, he just doesn't know who to trust. And it appears that, at least for the first half of this edition of SmackDown, Roman didn't even trust Jimmy and Solo. He was extremely confrontational and condescending when he spoke to Jimmy and Solo. He asked them where Jey was at. They said they didn't know, but he kept the interrogation going on because he felt like they were lying and hiding something from him. So it all goes back to Roman's paranoia, especially after just being betrayed in his mind by Sami Zayn. Now, Roman is more spooked than ever, and that has him looking at Jimmy and Solo very suspiciously, when they very well could be completely innocent as well. Just look at the situation with Sami Zayn. Sami was completely innocent and not up to anything at all against Roman Reigns. But Roman kept pushing and testing Sami up until the point where he crossed the line, and Sami was forced to do something about it. So that paranoia already cost Roman Reigns Sami Zayn, and now has Jey up in limbo. It wouldn't be smart if that paranoia also made Jimmy and Solo leave his side. So it was a smart move to apologize and make things right with them before the end of the night, because especially at the time of the year, and with a shaky Jey Uso status, he needs all the men that he can have with him right now, heading into WrestleMania season. But Roman comes out for the promo and talks about how he has 3 individuals on his mind to talk about. Those 3 being Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, and Sami Zayn. Roman wanted to dive deeper into Cody Rhodes, But since the crowd kept chanting for Sami, Roman spoke about Sami instead. Sami Zayn then jumped Roman Reigns from behind in a hoodie, and he was able to make him retreat from the ring. Remember that Jimmy and Solo were in the back eating in the bus, so this gave Sami Zayn a small window of opportunity to strike on Roman, and he took it. Sami says that he never wanted anything from Roman and the bloodline, but how now was different, and how he wanted the undisputed Universal Championship. Jimmy and Solo eventually make it to the ring and beat down Sami Zayn, which makes Roman Reigns very arrogantly march his way back to the ring. Solo's about to crush Sami's head into a chair, but Roman stops Solo mid-run and takes the chair off of Sami's head. Roman then goes on Sami Zayn saying that he doesn't have his right-hand man because Sami broke up his bloodline. Roman says that he'll put the titles on the line against Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber in front of Sami's own friends and family in Montreal, Canada. So the Elimination Chamber main event is set. It will be Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn for the undisputed Universal title. Some fans felt like this match would have been big enough to main event night 1 of WrestleMania, but reports claim that Sami Zayn allegedly isn't viewed as a WrestleMania main event star within the company, so that's why that was never in discussion. So the Roman and Sami portion of this storyline seems to be under control and will be concluded at Elimination Chamber. But the side of the story that still isn't close to being resolved is the Jey Uso situation. Jey took to his Instagram story to answer Roman's questions about his whereabouts. Jey posted a picture on the highway and said he was riding through the city. So Jey has now walked out on the bloodline and purposely skipped an episode of SmackDown. The biggest question and story they're building right now is if Jey Uso will show up to the tag team title defense or not. The Usos are set to defend their titles against Braun Strowman and Ricochet, and if Jey isn't there, he'll be leaving Jimmy all by himself to defend the titles. If Jey doesn't show up, maybe they could have Solo step in and defend their titles. They just had Sami step in to defend them, so why can't Solo step in? But if Jey does peacefully show up at the last second, Roman will probably let them defend the titles in peace, but you just gotta assume that Roman has some sort of punishment waiting for Jey Uso, especially at a time like this during WrestleMania season and the Bloodline's core being a little shaky. Roman probably feels like he needs to make a big move to get the Bloodline back under full control and clear his paranoid head. So maybe Roman making an example out of Jey will put Jimmy and Solo all the way back in line as well. Jimmy and Solo actually aren't out of line, but in Roman's head, maybe he's unsure. So a punishment on Jey will likely make Roman feel better about everything, so that's a big possibility. So Roman versus Sami is happening, and now we just have to see if Jey shows up or not. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.